And we are back, man. It's been a while. It has been a while. I think it's been about 2, 3 months since I've last streamed, and it's been a roller coaster. I can tell you that much. I have been trying to plan and figure things out, get the schedule and life in order and all that extra stuff. And I know now what I want to do with these streams and how I want to approach them because honestly, I felt kind of over stimulated with everything that I had to do. So now that I know what I want to do and I know how to approach it, I know for a fact where I want to go. Give me 1 second, let me fix the resolution. There we go. Now I'm extremely confident in what I want to do when it comes to um live streaming and my YouTube channel. I know now whenever I start streaming, it's literally just gonna be me practicing and trying to hone in on what I love to do. Period. End of story. I'm not gonna do it for any other reason because at first I was getting very overwhelmed by, you know, oh, is this person coming in, or are these people coming in, or how do I promote, and how do I do this and that and a third. But no, like the only time I'll be worrying about promoting is with my Instagram or my YouTube videos, but the streams will be purely for the purposes of learning. The streams will be what I do on a consistent basis, and it'll be less scripted. It'll be all from the top and just less stress. Like all I'll be doing is just drawing and talking and just enjoying the craft like I usually do. As far as everything else though, that'll be more focused on, you know, the YouTube videos, that which I'll have a new YouTube video out this Friday. So after 5 months of no videos, I'll have a new YouTube video out this Friday. I'm excited about it. I'll have so much to say on it. And with that being said, let me get into the drawing aspects of it. Take a sip of water first. Now I won't be afraid if 10 people join or 0 people join, or 1 person joins. It'll purely just be for the love of what I love to do. Like the only thing that makes me feel, if that makes any sense. All right, so let's get to drawing. Today we will be focusing on drawing hair, and I will be doing a critique of a longtime student of mine, WillyOArt, an amazing artist. He literally started from the beginning. Hold on. Uh-oh. My stream reading? Let me see. Make sure it's reading clearly. Okay. Please use a keyframe frequency. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what that means. Keyframe frequency? I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know what that means. So as long as it still shows and everyone can see what's going on, I'm gonna continue. So I don't want to do the hair first. I want to do critique first because it'll just get me into the swing of things. So here is Honcho's art. Amazing already. He already has a story being told. He's already have likeness. I just grabbed an image. This isn't his image. I don't know if this is the reference he used. I asked. I don't whenever he gets the chance, I'm sure he'll be able to respond and show me whatever he's got. But as far as the drawing is concerned, what I want to go for with my teaching style is what I wish I had when I was learning. And which another reason why I took a break was because I felt like I was teaching or explaining things the same way that I was taught. And although obviously the way I was taught has helped me, what has helped me the most is the conversations that I have in my brain as I'm drawing. Why does it keep saying that? You say keyframe frequency? I want to basically just want to use what I'm saying in my brain to explain how I would approach doing something like this. I feel like this is the same image. Could be wrong. I feel like maybe we just grabbed another image, but look, his eyes are looking the same way, right? Same hat, same collar. You know, the only thing that's confusing me is the angle. Because if you see, the nose is overlapping in the image, but on his drawing, the nose isn't overlapping the cheekbones. So that's why I don't want to, go purely on just just this image right here. What I'm taking from this image is the light, is the story, the feeling that it conveys, and I want to make sure that I approach this in the same manner, because if you can't get the feeling, everything else doesn't matter. I could have perfect structure and story and anatomy and all of that, not story, I could have proper anatomy and structure and all that, but if the story doesn't matter, people don't care. So that's just my motto. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and head on to the drawing. To start, because this isn't the same reference, I won't say that, look at the reference and then, make the nose overlap, because I don't know if it's the same reference or not. But what I will say is the skull in this image isn't telling a story that a skull would tell you. And what that means is, when we look at a human face, although there are eyes and a mouth and a nose and lips, these things are additive to what's really going on. And what's really going on is, first and foremost, a sphere or an egg. Especially with the head, I would rather say an egg than an egg. I would rather say an egg than a circle or a sphere. That's the first thing I want to do, is announce to everyone, hey, first and foremost. I don't understand what that means. Is it still? Let me see if it's still here. Testing, testing, testing. Sorry guys, it's just giving me issues really quick. I just want to make sure everything is working. Okay, I think we're back on track. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so first and foremost, what I want to say is that this egg is here, right? And then once that's said, where do I go next? What else am I trying to say? If I already jump into saying, oh, there's an eye socket here, there's a nasal bone here, there's a cheekbone, the zygomatic, there's a, you know, all of that stuff, what it does is it confuses the author. You are the author. You are the person trying to write something and trying to make people understand it. If you just go into writing and just tell people about your characters, they're gonna be like, well, okay, I don't even know this person. Like, you're basically trauma dumping. This is kind of how I like to describe adding detail. It's trauma dumping. You're basically trauma dumping on people. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to trauma dump on people. We want people to care about what we have to say. No one really cares when you're trauma dumping on them. They're just like, oh, it's awkward now. And so basically why I'm saying that is the main thing we want to say after we've already told you that this is an egg is what's going on inside of the egg, right? If I tell you that there's an eye in this egg, I can't tell you about the lids first. If I'm telling you there's an eyeball inside of the face, inside of this egg, I cannot talk to you about the lids or the pupil first. What would I talk about first? Or even the eyebrows. What would I talk about first if I am trying to tell people what's going on in this egg? It's in the name eyeball. I want to tell people first and foremost that this is a ball, right? And within this egg there are two, oh god, I don't want to there are two spheres that line up with each other. So within this egg, there are two spheres lined up with each other. I am saying this because, keep in mind, if I think of an eye, the moment I think of an eye, I automatically have all of these ideas about what an eye looks like. And then I start telling you about my idea of what an eye looks like. I don't tell you about what's really going on, because my idea of what an eye is and what an eye really is are two very different things. That's why drawing is so hard, is because we've confused what we see with what we interpret, and that's not the case, right? So I have a sphere here, a sphere here, and they both line up, right? So I want to tell people that first and foremost. Then what do I want to tell people? I want to make sure that when people see this image, they know where this sphere is being oriented. Right? So I want people to know that this sphere is facing this way. I want people to see this sphere and know that it's facing this way. Right? I want people to see this sphere and know that it is facing this way. That it's in a 3/4 view. Okay? So when people see this sphere, this egg, I'm sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up, but when people see this egg, when they look at this egg, the first thing they will realize, what I am trying to say is, there is a sphere within this egg that is oriented a third, well, in this reference image, it's about, it's really close to a side view, profile view. But with his drawing, it's a 3/4 view. So I want to tell people that it's going 3/4 of the way. That's 3/4. I want to tell people that. So all of this is me trying to figure out the biggest way to tell a story, and then slowly trying to let people know about the little things that matter. I don't want to trauma dump. I don't want to tell everybody about the whole thing at once very fast. I can't do that. People hate that. People hate trauma dump. But what people like is getting to know who they're talking to, getting to know what's happening in front of them. So what next? If this is facing this way, let me just erase that. If you know that this is facing this way, what else should I tell them? Okay, I want to create a sense of dimension within this sphere as well. That matters a lot. People need depth. D-E-P-T-H. D-E-P-T-H. People need depth. Depth. The English language, ladies and gentlemen. People need depth. And because people need depth, the best way to show depth is contour lines. I'll get into all of that in other videos and stuff like that, but for now, just know that you need contour lines and to tell people specific angles, which these contour lines are doing. So now, where do I go from here? Will, where do I go from here? Now we want to make sure, I honestly put the eyeballs in first, like way too soon, but it's okay. Because as long as I've already told you about this egg shape and I've created depth, now we can get into showing what's happening within this eyeball. So first step, let's go like this, right? First step, step one. What is it? That I am trying to say. Step two, be quick about it. Step 2 is be quick about it. Step 1, what is it I'm trying to say? Step 2, be quick about it. Do not trauma dump. Do not trauma dump. Please, please do not trauma dump. Meaning, say the biggest thing first. Say what you have to say first. Do not try to add detail first. Say what you have to say first. After you've said everything that you have to say first, if people care, they'll listen to what else you have to say. And what else do I have to say? I have to tell you that within this egg, there is not only two spheres that match, but there is a triangular pyramid that matches as well. For now, I'll just say a triangle. The big idea, the main thing. There's a triangle that matches as well. Okay, what else? There is a muzzle within this sphere, within this egg, or another circle within this egg. And then from there, like I said, with the contour lines, we want to make sure that people see the depth, DEPTH, in which we are trying to convey within this 2D surface. Well, how do I do that? It is me adding these contour lines. To announce to the world what's really going on. Right? That's step 1. That's, you have what we want to say. I know this is a mouthful and everything, but the reason I'm saying all of these things is because right now, what Woodley has, what Honcho has, is a really nice drawing. But within this really nice drawing, there are things that are being told to me that don't resonate with me. And a nice drawing must resonate with people in a way that we don't understand. What artists are, in my opinion, are therapists. We are trying to explain, not therapists, photographers, where we are trying to explain how we see the world, and we are emphasizing things and trying to announce others. And within that, if you are trying to create something, you need to make sure that as you create it, you're keeping in mind that there is truth that we need to be telling people. Okay? That we have to keep in mind there's truth that we need to be telling people. The only way to know those truths is to go out of our way to figure it out. We can't just base our realities on our experiences, right? So, right now, what this drawing is telling me is that if I line up his eye tear ducts, right? And then I line up the nostril. And then I line up the edges of the lips. And then I line up the jaw, which I can't really see here because obviously it's chin hair. What it's telling me, even if I line up the manubrium, like right now, what it's telling me is that the manubrium is going like this. If I line all of these up, what that tells me is that there is no sense of DEPTH. There is no sense of depth within this this drawing. What it's telling me is that because I am fond of another artist, I know that this other artist, because I know how other people interpret things, I will copy how other people interpret things and interpret it in the same way. But we cannot do that. We have to understand how we see the world and interpret it that way. So, with that being said, if I want to tell people how I see the world, I have to understand what the world is telling me. And what the world is telling me is that this eye socket right here, if I lined it up correctly, because I don't know, right now this image is telling me his head is tilted. Right? His head is tilted to his right, meaning his neck would be stretched. Right? But then his nose is telling me his head is straight. His mouth is straight. His jaw is straight. But the eye is telling me that it's tilted. Right? Trying to make sure this arrow points in the direction. So instead, let's do this. Let's figure out which way it's oriented. And for me, I see that the camera is a little bit below him, but his head isn't tilted. So what's true is that his head isn't tilted. The camera doesn't tell us the truth. The camera only tells us what it sees. So his eye could be in here. So this eye is not in its socket. And now the nose should be in here. The nasal bone should be in here. Right? The cheekbone follows thereafter. I like to just do this quick shape with the cheekbone. It just helps me muzzle everything up, unintended. Trying to be perfect. Now we've got that egg shape again. And likeness, like trying to make it look like somebody else, is a whole different conversation. So for now, I'm just gonna stick with just the drawing aspect of it, but next we can probably talk about the trying to make it look like the person we were trying to draw. Because if I didn't watch the movie Sinners, I don't know for a fact that everyone would look at this and say this is Michael B. Jordan. And I've had this same issue where when I drew someone, people would look at it and be like, oh, that looks like my cousin. And what we would call that is, ooh, I forgot the name. I forget the name, but what we want to make sure is that when someone looks at it, they know for a fact who they are looking at. If we want to draw someone and make them look like that person. And to do that, it's all about taking notes. For me personally, it's all about taking notes and getting to know that person. Their ins and outs, their anatomy, their facial structure, their bone structure, what relates to what, how it relates to it, how it looks. I want to make sure that I understand this person. I'm not just going to look at it and be like, ooh, his eye looks like this. His eye looks like this, like triangle here, and then there's like this right here, and then his nose is going like this. And then, ooh, his eye is like locked in right here. And then, like, no, I don't want to do that, because that's me just looking at someone and just seeing them with my idea of what I think they look like. I want to understand this person. I want to get to know this person. I want to know for a fact when I'm drawing this person that it feels like the person that I'm drawing. End of story. Nothing more, nothing less. Just like this image right here, it's taking me so long because every single time I lay lay a line down, an idea down, I'm trying to make sure that it resonates with the person that I'm looking at. I don't want to just draw it and be like, oh, I feel like this looks like this, so I'm going to draw it like this, because now I'm just assuming who this person is. I want to know this person. I want to know how to tell this person's story. Every human being has a story, has an experience, and I want people to look at an image and feel like they're feeling those experiences. I know that sounds insane. I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds stupid, whatever. I don't care. For the people who understand, what I am trying to do is tell people about the world and tell people what I see. Period. And if you are trying to learn from me, if you are trying to learn anything out of this, that is what you will learn. Period. Is how to see people for who they are. Okay? So, enough of that. Go back to the image itself. So that's why I have all of this going on right here, is because now I know what is situated where, why it's situated there. His jaw, in like, if I'm looking at Michael B right now, his jaw doesn't seem like it goes that low. I would probably push it up, because right now it's saying that his jaw is like right here. I think I was copying it wrong. I think you actually got it right. I was copying it wrong because you have the chin here right here, but you have the jaws, so I was copying it wrong. I want to make sure that all of these stories are being told in the right way. So right now, what I know now is that his eye should be lined in here, inside that socket, right? Be inside this socket, and then right here, where it's showing that it's like this, right? And what you're telling me right now is that it's not. Okay. Thought I was on the wrong page. Right now we have an idea of what a skull is. We could get into, so I'm just gonna skip. I'm gonna, because I know that people like to see the finished end results and stuff like that. They don't really care about this stuff. So I just wanted to show this much to show people what I'm thinking about in phases. But if we were to go to shading, which he doesn't have shading done yet, but we can get into that. Oh. What me personally, this is just a taste thing. It's not a oh shoot, okay. Okay, so I was right. This is the reference photo. Okay. Me personally, for taste, I like to think to myself, how do people see line? When I say that, and on my new video that's coming out this Friday, there is a section where I talk about the difference between drawing and shading. And right now I'm talking about drawing. So just a quick iteration of that, if I don't spoil the video. Drawing is purely line and shape. Shading is purely value and edge. When I'm drawing, I like to make sure that my lines and my shapes make sense, right? And I want to make sure what makes line and shape make sense is clarity. When I look at this image here, although yes, I can tell you that this is a hat and stuff like that, with all these angles, there's so much going on that there is, like I said, trauma dumping. It's trauma dumping. It's telling me so much. When in reality, you can just simply say, hey, this shape right here, there's this shape right here, first and foremost. And what this shape is doing, and I can tell that you saw like this right here, and you saw that bend there, and then you kind of overemphasized it. But what we are gonna do is we're just gonna simply say this. And then within this shape, like what I would have done if I was drawing this, I would have had this all together. And now it's all one. It's just a silhouette, and then within that silhouette there's a forehead, there's an eye, there's a nose, there's a mouth, there's a, you know, chin hair, there's eyebrows, there's an ear. But you see how it still looks like a face because the initial idea is there. Obviously it's a cartoon face. And it's not Michael B. Jordan. But you see how because the shape is telling me something, everything else is going along with it. So I want to say that same thing, like keep it simple. We don't have to say all of that extra stuff. We don't have to trauma dump. But I want to tell you that this shape is sitting on this egg that is oriented this way. Remember? I want to say that even though the image doesn't have this contour line that I'm doing that's wrapping around like this, I'm going to do it because I want to tell you that this is happening. Okay? I want to tell you that this is happening. Even though the image isn't saying that, I want to say that. Well, I was supposed to be talking about shit. I'll just make a new layer. And then we can go about dating. Also, if you guys have any questions, you can ask. I'm willing to explain. I think I've explained a lot, though. I want to trauma dump. We have that. So when I'm shading, to simply start, I would just like to go 50% darkness of the initial color. But here's another thing that I wish that Honcho would have done is, because Michael B. Jordan is a dark-skinned person, his initial skin, his, like, if we're gonna go from here, right, and then we want to say that the shadows and stuff like that, we want to add it and we go 50%, so 55, 50%, 20, I'm gonna just go 25. Okay. I'm not gonna try to do what, 55, 27.5. I'm not a mathematician. let's just go 24, right? If I wanted to say that, you know, he has shadows in here, let's do this actually. Let me do a quick math. Let me see if that works. No, it won't. If I wanted to add all the shading and stuff like that. I'm gonna put it in here. Ah, dang, yeah, we're gonna go. Maybe multiply? Come on, Procreate. Let me see if multiply works. What I'm trying to do right now is just see the bottom, but it won't work. Alright, it's fine. If I want to say that all of this is in shadow. See, yeah, no, I have to. Pretty good. Let's just go like this, alright? All of this is in shadow. The eye socket would be in shadow. This would probably be in shadow. This would be in shadow. The bottom plane would be in shadow. This would be in shadow. Nice. Probably cast shadow right here. This would be in shadow for sure. This plane would be shadow. This plane would probably be in shadow. Alright. This would be in shadow as well for sure. Different light is coming from. Nice. If I were to look at this and then say that this is a dark-skinned individual, the issue with that is I have to get to know. This is why I love drawing so much, and this is why understanding and writing notes and getting to know what you're trying to create matters. That's why I like to talk to the people I'm about to draw. I like to get to know them. I like to just hear their experiences, is because when they start telling you about their life story, what you start to see is that everyone has their own unique ideas and personas and, you know, stories to tell. And if we can't relate to that, if we can't at least accept it, and we fill it up with our ideas, we fill this person up with our ideas of them, we kind of lose who this person is. Like we can't really see this person for who they are, for good or for bad. We can't see them for who they are, right? And I'm saying this because right now what I am seeing is Michael B. Jordan's cousin. I'm seeing Michael B. Jordan's, you know, long lost brother, you know, step brother. I'm not seeing Michael B. Jordan. And the only way to see Michael B. Jordan is to realize he's an African American person. And African Americans, if we think about the egg again, if a white person's skin is lighter than an African American's, and their skin is usually around that 70 to 60% range, right? Then an African American skin tone who's much darker would be around that 35% range. If we're talking about a scale from 1 to 100. And then all the shadows within that would be a lot darker. And all the shadows within that would be darker. But what's happening here is that because the skin color is already dark, we have to make sure that we're telling people that. We have to make sure that this is who we're telling people about. So I have to make sure that his skin is darker. Let me see if I can make his skin darker. And then I'll probably end with that. I think I've said enough. I'm supposed to be talking about hair. Like, this is what his skin should start off with. We should start off with something along these lines. Maybe a little bit lighter. Even then, 51. Yeah, that's perfect. That feels like a dark-skinned individual. Look at that. It's starting at 22. The value, like I'm looking at this little line right here. The value's at 22. That feels like a dark-skinned person, right? And then when we add those shadows, they're gonna be a lot darker. But I don't think Michael B. Jordan is a light-skinned individual by any means. He's a black person. I would know a black person as well. So that's that, and I'm gonna show this image right here to show you guys what I'm thinking of, right? When I was drawing this, I looked at her and I was like, wow, she has very dark skin. I want to make sure that when people see this, they see that she has dark skin. And the way that I wanted to relate to that is I started off with this, with this fear right here. And I used this fear to tell me that, oh, okay, she has dark skin, so let me make sure when I start this image, I start with a skin tone, like what I'm coloring, like where you see all these lines in here are. I want to make sure that her skin tone starts with this, but it gets darker with the tone. So that's what I did. She has her skin tone, her natural skin tone, which is all right here, and then it gets darker than her natural skin tone. Okay? It's all about understanding. I looked at this image and I said, I want to make sure when people look at her, they know she's a dark-skinned girl. That means her nose has to look like an African-American nose. Her eyes have to look African-American. Her lips have to look African-American. Her head shape has to look African-American. It's not just about looking at it and trying to copy it, because once you try to copy, you try to fill things with ideas. And we don't want ideas, we want truth. Alright, that was fun. That was fun. Okay. Now we're going to talk about drawing hair for a little bit. We'll talk about drawing hair for a little bit, which is very, very different. As you can see, I already started off with the hair right here. And as I was doing it, I was like, ooh, I would love to tell people how to go about doing something like this, because it wasn't easy. It's not easy. But what makes it work is that every single idea is thought through, and it's not just me adding lines in every single strand that I see. I'm trying to tell you a story of what's going on. Okay? Super consistent. What's up, man? Hold on, let me make sure my mic is on. Imagine if my mic wasn't on and I was doing all this talking. Oh man, that'd be painful. What's up, Punisher? I really mess with your art. How do you get that pencil-like texture? Appreciate you, man. Thank you. The pencil-like texture comes. Obviously, I'm on Procreate. It's a digital software on iPad. I think it's only on iPad. But what I do is I literally start a drawing and you literally have to redraw over your drawing to get the pencil texture. So what I did was I have my initial drawing, and then after the initial drawing, I add a new layer on top of it. And then within that layer, I just add a noise. And I just try to get it to look like paper. It depends on how much you want it to feel like paper or stuff like that. And then you'll just edit it accordingly. And then I have to restart drawing, because if I don't, then all of the values will get muddy. So I have to restart and make sure that I get my values correct. And basically, like if I take away my underdrawing, you can see that I'm just really redrawing everything and drawing over it and trying to make sure that all the darks are darks and all the lights are light. Appreciate the question, man. Right now I am talking about how to draw hair. I already started right here. And I want to just maybe do this much before I end the stream. But maybe another 10-15 minutes. We'll see how that goes. Alright. So, where were we? So right now what I'm trying to figure out is, how do I tell, like I don't want to look at this and be like, oh, I see hair strands here, hair strands here. That's gonna, like, look at all of that. Look at all, there's no way I could draw all of these and try to make sure that it matches. That's impossible. If you do that, I mean, you are different. I ain't like that. I'm not like that. I can't do that. I have to get the bigger idea and then go from there. So what I want to do, figure out what's happening in these shapes right here in the hair, and then try to convey it onto this. So as I look at it, I see that hair is really loopy. Like it's like wrapping over each other. That's wrapping like that. It's wrapping like that. And then wrapping around like I want to make sure I show that in here. So right now what I'm doing, there's gonna be times where I kind of get silent, and that's because I literally sit back and I'm looking and trying to make sure what I'm saying makes sense. I don't want to just like look at this and just be like, ooh, line here, line here, line. Like take a break, take a pause. Like I rather just look at a drawing and figure out what I want to say and then put it down than to just look at what I see and then try to replicate it. Like, no, that's not gonna get me anywhere. That's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, so I'm like right now I'm just trying to look at this image and see what I can say. I know that's what I mean by taking your time too. Man, I really hope people can hear me. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me see if people can hear me. Since Punisher hasn't responded. If not, man, I'm ending the stream. I'd be so hurt. Okay, no, okay, people can't hear me. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Johnny, for responding. Cause I would have been so hurt. I was talking so much. If it wasn't, oh man, I'd be so hurt, man. Cause I'd be like, oh, I just said all of this stuff and no one heard me. Okay, so I'm looking at this image. Johnny Gooch, that's an hilarious name, by the way. I don't know if that's your real last name. I don't want to laugh at your name if it really is, but Johnny Gooch is the top-notch name. So as I look at this, I just want to look at the major shapes that are happening within her hair that are telling me a bigger story, right? Like telling me, like back here, it's telling me that her hair is wrapping behind her head. This is telling me that she has bangs in the front. So the only thing that I want to do is tell you the same thing. Period. I don't want to muddy that up. Okay, perfect. That's not your real name. Okay, good. All right, that's a fire name, guys. All right. So as you can see, when I started off, it was literally just a simple shape, just an idea of what's going on. I'm not trying to feed the fire. I'm not trying to trauma dump, like I like to say. I don't want to trauma dump. I just want to tell you the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is her hair looks like, if I were to squint my eye and not look at all that detail, her hair looks like this. Her hair literally looks like this. Her hair looks like just this shape. So that's all I want to tell you. Because once you look at it, her hair looks like that shape. I can hear, I was just, okay, perfect. That's fire, though. I love that you're drawing along. Like, that feels incredible, because I love it when I'm just drawing and people are drawing along. And it's such a vibe. It feels like I have, like, a group of people drawing with me. Alright, let's see. So I'm looking. I'm literally squinting my eye right now. I'm just trying to see what I want to say. And I'm looking. I guess for now, since I already have this area right here, I can start shading that area, and then I'll get into this area right here on another video. Okay? So just because I want to show you guys like how to achieve something, you know, similar to that. So as I'm looking at it, I see the flow that's happening within this, and every flow is telling me a ribbon shape, and a ribbon that goes like this, right? Like, let me make a better ribbon. That was bad. That was a bad ribbon, my bad. Let's use the cheat code. Right, let's do this. I'm literally thinking of it like this. Light is hitting this ribbon on this side. That means this side would be darker. And then it gets lighter as it goes to where the light is hitting. And then within that, there's a highlight. And the highlight is literally just facing us. Meaning wherever the light is hitting, so it's hitting this side is, this is the part that's facing us, so the highlight's gonna be right here. Literally, that's it. Like, don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. So now we have the ribbon. Right? And since the light isn't hitting this area, you can add a dark. The light isn't hitting this area, you can add a dark here. Simple. Literally so simple. And I'm doing the same thing right here. So I'm saying, oh, light is hitting it right here. That means that, okay, so this area isn't getting hit by light. This is where the highlight is because it's looking right at me, you know? Super simple. Great, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Houdini. Honcho, everyone, this is Honcho, the person that I was critiquing in the beginning. Honcho, I spent 45 minutes talking about your image, so do with that what you will. So right now I'm just trying to feed the flame and trying to just do the same thing I did with those ribbons. I'm trying to do the same thing here. I got you, bro. Super good work, man. Super good work, bro. I always know that you're not gonna take those critiques and think I'm like being harsh or anything like that. Like it's purely just me trying to say how you can say things in a way that other people can relate to. Because right now, like, you have the skill. Right now, you know how to say things. And that's exactly where I was for a very long time, is I knew how to say things in a cool way. But now I don't want to just say things in a cool way. I feel like now I want to say things in a way that other people can relate to and understand. And I feel like that's maybe a place where you are as well. light is hitting it here. Like I told you guys, we're gonna do the same thing. The ribbon getting hit with light. This is a ribbon. Part of this light. A little bit of light in there. And I'm just blending it in so it doesn't look a whole bunch of lines. So it looks like here. Make sure I take a step back, look at what I just did, see where I can fix any inconsistencies, see it for what it is, take a step back and look at what I'm saying, seeing if it resonates with others. Always about what how other people can resonate with what I'm saying. It's not just about me. You know, I see that this area right here might need a little bit of idea. And now is just trying to design it and trying to make it look the way I want it to look. Right here, I feel like I can break that up. I want to see where that line is. It's all about designing, figuring things out. It takes a, I'm not gonna lie, this area right here alone took me about an hour. So I know the hair itself is gonna take me the same amount of time, because the whole time I'm literally just trying to answer questions and trying to figure things out and trying to make it look how I want it to look. That's basically how I would go about drawing hair. I want to say thank you to everyone who stopped by, for all the questions. Appreciate you, Johnny Gooch. Appreciate you, Punisher. Appreciate you, Hancho, for stopping in. I will be doing more live streams. I am finally got my schedule I finally have my schedule figured out. And I've got a new YouTube video coming this Friday. It'll be about shading, and I will talk more about all of this stuff that I was talking about earlier in the stream. And every time I stream, just the same way Punisher is doing, we draw together, we learn together. It's such a good time. I really miss doing this, especially with the music playing in the background, just pure focus. So I will catch you guys on the next one. I won't say when exactly the next one will be, but it'll be either before the new video, right before the new video, or after. But it will be within the week, so maybe Thursday, just saying. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I will be editing clips of the stream, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Later, everyone.